Larry Isenberg. A calm summer morning on Lake Coeur, glassy water, postcard silence, then a scream that never fully escapes. Larry Isenberg steps onto his boat with a smile that feels practiced, a man known as reliable, polite, invisible in plain sight. This is not how monsters are supposed to look. The camera glides over pine trees, sunlight flickers like false hope, the lake holds its breath, because by nightfall, someone will not return, and the water will remember everything. Friends will say Larry loved the lake, neighbors will say he avoided conflict, investigators will later say the scene felt staged, too clean, too quiet, as if someone believed nature would erase what happened. This is the beginning of a story built on reflections, half-truths, and a death that sinks slowly, dragging secrets behind it. A case where the deeper you dive, the darker it gets, and every ripple hides a lie waiting to surface. The timeline fractures early, hours that don't line up. Phone pings that drift like buoys without anchors. Larry claims an accident, a slip, a sudden fall into the water, simple, believable, almost boring, except the bruises tell a different story. Defensive wounds, pressure marks, panic frozen into muscle. The lake did not kill gently. Detectives reconstruct the day frame by frame, the boat's engine still warm, a life jacket untouched, a calm man giving calm answers, too calm, grief delayed, eyes dry, voice steady. Witnesses remember raised voices days earlier, money issues, control, something tightening behind closed doors. The documentary cuts to sonar scans, shadowy shapes below. The lake floor becomes a silent witness, holding what Larry cannot explain, and when divers surface, faces pale, evidence heavy in their hands, the accident story begins to crack, not loudly, but enough to let doubt pour in. Interviews grow sharper, questions repeat, answers shift by inches, just enough to matter. Forensic experts speak softly but firmly. Water patterns, impact angles. The body did not enter the lake the way Larry described, not at that speed, not at that place. The camera lingers on Larry's hands, folded, relaxed, no tremor. Psychologists note the mismatch, tragedy without chaos, loss without loss. And then the texts emerge, erased but not gone, fragments of fear. Last messages hinting at an argument, a decision, something final. The narrative tightens, every expert adds weight, until the accident theory sinks under its own contradictions. Friends pull back, whispers replace sympathy. Larry becomes isolated, framed against wide shots of the lake, small, cornered, yet still insisting on innocence, still pointing to the water as the killer, unaware the water has already betrayed him. The courtroom becomes a stage, polished wood, controlled silence. Jurors stare as timelines collide, prosecutors unfold motive like a map, money, control, the threat of exposure. Defense clings to doubt, to the lake's unpredictability, but evidence stacks like stones, heavy, undeniable. Experts recreate the moment, the shove, the struggle, the seconds of terror before the surface closed. Family members break, grief finally allowed to breathe. Larry watches, expression unreadable, until the verdict lands, not shouted, just spoken, guilty. The word echoes longer than any scream. Sentencing feels inevitable, justice delivered in measured tones. Cameras capture Larry's final glance toward the lake through a window, a man separated from freedom, yet still surrounded by water in his mind. The documentary seems ready to end, closure offered, truth confirmed. But the lake has one more secret. Years pass, technology evolves, cold cases warm under new light. An independent analyst revisits the data, not to free Larry, but to understand the lake itself. Currents, undertows, micro-evidence once dismissed. A recovered object gains new meaning, suggesting a second presence, another set of movements, someone unseen that day. Files reopen quietly, no press, no announcements, just questions. Uncomfortable ones. Did Larry act alone, or was the story simplified for peace? Investigators argue behind closed doors, families are not told. The lake remains calm, tourists laugh, boats cut through sunlight, unaware the truth beneath them may be incomplete. And then a name surfaces, never charged, never cleared, buried in an old report, a witness who vanished from the narrative. The case shifts, subtly, dangerously. The final frame returns to the lake at dusk. The narrator lowers their voice, revealing the twist withheld. Larry did not deny being there. He denied being alone, a statement dismissed as manipulation. Until now, the overlooked witness had a connection, a reason, and an alibi built on silence. New evidence suggests the fatal push may not have been Larry's hands, but his failure to stop it, complicity instead of execution. The conviction stands, but the truth fractures, justice partially blind, the real killer possibly free. The lake swallowing accountability as easily as bodies, viewers are left suspended, certainty gone. Asking the most dangerous question of all, what if the story we accepted was only the version that fit, and the real monster is still watching the water, waiting, unseen?